And he says he doesn't want to follow me, and he reads that. What? Oh.
I really don't. I admire your presence. You have a natural presence, which I find really difficult for myself.
Thank you very much. And as I had said, this book that was just released is a combination of interview segments, and I will actually read a little of the interview segment that leads to this next poem. Jadip wrote to me, what is generally your preference for reading, a paper book or an e-book, and why? And I wrote back, I have never read an e-book in my life. I have a library of books, and when I read submissions, they're always on my computer screen. And I'm more comfortable with the written page, which is why it was appropriate to read with this next piece called Newspaper Inks, the Blood of a Dying Species. Sitting in those basement labs, the hum of computer workstations accompanied my thoughts. Time was ticking, deadlines darted, but I was used to the daily deadline, that the rush to be on time was like my nicotine. I'd slam my hands, my fingers into those keyboards so that every newspaper would know my side of the story. I would keep copies of my words in 9-point type, 2-inch wide columns, but newspaper pages are thin as tissue. I can't hold onto my work in this form forever, and not like this. The ink smudges and disappears whenever anyone touches the page. Maybe this is the disintegration of the written word, now that everyone prefers reading the news from their phones and tablets. Besides, they want to read on their commute train to work. Newspaper ink would smudge onto their crisp white shirts. Journalism is a dying species. Millennials think that using your smartphone and texting what everyone blurts out is news. So they post their nonsense on every electronic medium they can find. Besides, with the price that they pay for phones so that they can Google every question they have and not have to retain any answers, texting and data better be free. Now, like this newspapers, not like newspapers, or especially not even the tabloid ones, but the ones that you have to spread your arms out to read. You know, the cumbersome ones, the ones that make you feel like they have something worth saying because it's something of value. This is what I loved. I loved being able to make a statement on a printed page and have it delivered to the town's front doors. I'd open up my front door and then open up my daily paper, just like the ones that are delivered to every other front door, to open the pages wide and then find what's mine. Why bother remembering stories or the news when you can just reference it on an archive anyway? Well, you may be right. It may seem convenient, but it's inconvenient to search for stories in the first place. And anyway, I still contend that it's better for your eyes and maybe even your brain because you retain information once you've read it on a page. I know, the newspaper's a dying species. It's a dying art. But the oils, the pigments that make the ink, they make our blood. Understand this. And if you ever grab a newspaper again, if any ink smudges off onto your fingers, well, rub it in. Get it into your bones, because this stuff's in our blood, and it gives us life.
Yep.
Yeah.
And because this book's not out yet, but I'm going to share this with you because I like you. This is a piece that is called Letter 9606. I just played gin with my dad for the first time ever. All my life I remember Mom and Dad playing gin with another couple, coming over, playing at our poker table, and I learned how to play. It's kind of like rummy. I don't think I've ever played gin with my parents, but I knew how to play it. And I probably played with my sister. I can really remember that. Now, all I do is teach my husband to play gin when we're together, and it's a way to spend our time together sometimes, and it's something to do other than watching TV. But when we play and we don't keep track of the score, though, well, we just call all the time because it's just a game, right? Anyway, I asked my dad, after my mom died, if he wanted to play gin, because he played cards with people before when people hadn't died yet. But now they play pinochle, and I don't know pinochle. So, but anyway, I asked Dad a few times if he'd want to play gin, and he always said no. Yesterday even, he was playing on a computer game, and I offered to play a game of gin with him, and he still said no. But today, my second to last day visiting him, he was playing a computer game, and I thought, okay, I would get into a rut, and they say that I'm like him, so I should just take some initiative. So I went over and got a deck of cards, and I sat down next to him, and I just started shuffling. And he finally paused long enough from playing the computer solitaire to see what I was doing, and I said, I got a deck of cards. Want to play a game of gin? And he said, let me finish what I was doing, but okay. And so I just kept shuffling until he was finished, and then when he was playing and I dealt. I actually ginned the first game. I can't even, but when I got the winning card on the display, I said, I'm sorry, but gin. And then we played again, and he called, and then he beat me, and I had absolutely nothing in my hand. And then we played a few more times, and he said that he just wanted to watch a game that was on TV, and we stopped playing after about 4 or 5 minutes. And I talked to my husband on the phone, long distance afterward, and I said that this was probably the first time in my life that I'd ever played gin with my dad. Interesting. I learned this game from my father without him trying to teach me, and this was the first time I'd ever played gin with him. Interesting.
Yeah.